Hey guys, we are in Black Moon energy today. We have the moon in Capricorn coming into an exact opposition with the Black Moon in the sign of Cancer. This could be bringing up some shadow side issues, fears, worries, insecurities, doubts, could be sort of rising to the surface today. However, we also have the moon in Capricorn going to be making a square to Jupiter in the sign of Aries. This may actually help to alleviate some of these shadow side issues that we have going on. On one hand, we may be sort of dealing with or struggling with these insecurities, and on the other hand, we may feel a little bit like optimistic though and hopeful and positive about the future for one way or another. We are also, you guys, in a week that is characterized by Uranian energy big time. Tomorrow we are going to have the sun come into exact square to Uranus in the north node in conjunction, and the day after that we are going to be having our full moon in the sign of Aquarius, also ruled by Uranus. Uranus is the planet of expect the unexpected, big shifts, things happening sort of suddenly out of the blue, probably likely to be a bizarre week, probably unusual things going on, not our normal schedule at play. So who knows what's coming at us this week, you guys, but let's get into it. Let's talk about the chart for today. Let's see how this energy is playing out as we are moving towards tomorrow, our exact square between the sun and Uranus. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. If you guys stick with me till the end of the report, as usual, we're going to be talking about some tarot cards that also came out in conjunction with the astrology today, just so we can use two modalities to sort of gain a better overview of what will be playing out on the energetic level today, instead of just one. We like to sort of do it all the way around here on this channel. But let's start at the beginning, you guys. Let's start with the astrology. As I said, we are in a Black Moon day. We have Black Moon energy going on. The Black Moon is in the sign of Cancer right now. The Black Moon is very much associated with polarities. As a result of that, whenever we have the moon, which is a trigger planet for our emotions and things happening, coming into the sign where the Black Moon is, or the sign opposite the Black Moon, it has a tendency of kicking up and activating the Black Moon issues. The Black Moon rules our shadow side. The Black Moon rules our fears, our insecurities, our worries, our doubts, and most specifically, our subconscious programming, like the algorithms that are running in the background of our consciousness that are actually very, very powerful and very, very responsible for a lot of the experiences, the circumstances, the relationships, the conditions, the opportunities, the situations that we draw into our lives. So the Black Moon actually is a very powerful influence that we are largely unaware of for the most part. And when it is operating, it has a tendency of really sort of kicking up these subconscious algorithms, subconscious programming, which are usually fear-based when we're dealing in the Black Moon and these type of issues. So that is why it can have a tendency of bringing up these, like, these insecurities and these fears and these worries and these doubts, like I always say. But a lot of times, like, we're not even sure where they're coming from. Like, we don't even know where they're stemming from. We don't even know where the root of them is. They're just sort of like bubbling to the surface and coloring our emotional perception of things, especially because we are considering that the moon, our emotions, our feelings, is what is triggering this Black Moon energy. And the Black Moon right now is transiting the sign of Cancer. Cancer is a sign of the home. Cancer is a sign of the family. Cancer is a sign of the mother. Cancer is a sign of the roots, like our roots, our origins, where we come from, like our place of origin, our hometown, what's happening behind closed doors, like what is going on behind the scenes and behind the surface of things. And it's also our like relationship to our own ability to nurture and to care for and to provide support, and also to feel supported and to feel accepted and to feel safe and secure and loved and all of that, nurtured and all of that type of stuff. So when we are dealing with Black Moon Cancer, as we have been for several months and we will be for several months more, the Black Moon is actually at 14 degrees of Cancer right now, which is almost halfway through her transit through the sign of Cancer. So we're almost halfway there. But when we are dealing with Black Moon issues in the sign of Cancer, this has a tendency of bringing up any type of negative programming, negative subconscious programming, or again, like fears, worries, insecurities, or doubts that we may not even be like consciously aware of in regards to our ability to give and receive love, support, care, nurturing, to do it for ourselves, to do it for others, in like familial contexts and stuff like that. Like it can bring up issues with our ability to mother, our ability to care for ourselves, issues with our own mother, issues with our own family, issues with generally a sense of safety and security kind of like across the board, and our ability to provide that for ourselves and to provide that for others. And as a result, Black Moon in Cancer can really just make us feel very like the definition of insecure, because Cancer is a sign that is dealing with security, and the Black Moon is already talking about our insecurities. So it can really bring up just a sense of general unease, insecurity, a lack of ability to just like feel safe and nurtured and cared for, or really questioning or be in fear or worry or doubt about our ability to do that for ourselves, or to do that for others, or to do that for our families. Like these are the type of things that may be being activated right now. And the Black Moon also, as a result of triggering these fears and stuff, can really also kick up some like more ugly energy, some ugly emotions a lot of times, as people are often projecting when we're dealing with Black Moon, because we're unaware of it, right? We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's bothering us. We don't know what's wrong. We just know that we are in like an ill mood, like we are not feeling great, like we are upset about something and we can't really get to the root of it. So we're just like gonna put it on somebody else, project it. And a lot of times, in this energy, people can just be acting, like I said, like very ugly, because they just don't know what to do with what they're feeling, and they don't want to own it. They don't want to see it. They don't want to get to the root of it. They would rather just see it in you and like put the blame on it for you. So if projection is coming out and stuff like that, that's another thing that can happen with the Black Moon. Something to keep aware of, especially also with Mars and Saturn still in a square. This square is no longer exact, you guys. Mars has moved off the degree that was making this activation exact, but it is still very much present. And so people may be sort of at like, feeling a bit shook today, and kind of maybe feeling like at a breaking point in a lot of ways. However, like I said, we do have a bit of sort of like a temperance going on to this Black Moon energy that might be coming through today. And that is that the Moon in Capricorn is also, aside from forming the opposition to the Black Moon, is also going to be forming a square to Jupiter. Now, generally, squares are not the best aspects. They bring tension, frustration, conflict, difficulty. But when we're dealing with the planet Jupiter and when we're dealing with the Moon, this is a sort of different vibe in terms of the square, and it actually can still bring a sense of like positivity and optimism and faith and like upliftment in one way or another. Jupiter rules like faith and truth and trust and like a higher perspective. So it's almost like, despite the shadows that we may be sort of staring into today, on the other side of things, we are also being given an opportunity to sort of see it from a higher perspective that may be taking a little bit of the fear away, like alleviating the, darker sensations or the more negative, keeping us from sort of like hitting the bottom in this energy. Now, something to keep in mind when we have the Moon forming a square to Jupiter, whenever the Moon is forming a square to Jupiter, this is an aspect that can have a tendency to have us sort of like overlooking the details, overlooking the fine print, like not really paying attention to like this, not sweating the small stuff as much in this energy. And again, this could be a positive thing that is playing in alongside of this Black Moon energy today. But we also want to watch for any type of like self-righteousness or any type of arrogance that could come up, or sort of for like feeling like we're the only ones with the answer, you know what I mean? Like, because that is another way that this Jupiter Moon square energy can express itself. Jupiter rules wisdom, Jupiter rules truth, Jupiter rules the higher overall perspective. Like I said, Jupiter's also very associated with like morals and philosophies and stuff like that. And when we have this square aspect going on, the sort of like the frustration or the tension that can come from that is just like sort of maybe an overblown sense of our own perception and self-righteousness. And again, like I said, like we are the ones that hold all the answers sort of like from our high horse. Like that's not really the vibe that we want to be going with today in terms of this Jupiter square Moon energy. But I do feel like this is uplifting the vibe and lessening the impact of the Black Moon, which is a good thing. And honestly, I appreciate it because we could really use it, because the past 2 months, all of June and essentially all of July as well, were both black moon dominated cycles, like period. The month of June started and ended with black moon conjunctions going on. Our Cancer lunar cycle was in a conjunction to the black moon, and even when we ended that lunar cycle, I believe we had Venus in a conjunction to the black moon. So we have really been very seriously being immersed in these black moon Cancer energies over the course of the past 2 months. So, I kind of like that the way that the blueprint is laid out today for this black moon activation. We also have Jupiter on the side trying to help uplift the vibe, keep us from again, like I said, just totally going down into the depths with this today. So that's a good thing. It's also interesting in terms of the Sabian symbols as they're playing out, because right now the black moon just recently moved to 14 degrees of Cancer. That Sabian symbol is a very old man facing a dark space to the northeast. But you guys, we have Jupiter currently retrograde at 9 degrees of Aries, and that Sabian symbol is a seer gazes intently into a crystal ball in front of them. So there we go. On one hand, we may feel like we're just facing or staring into this never ending darkness. But on the other side of things, we're also looking forward and looking towards the future and having faith in the future and not giving up hope. We're sort of gazing into the potential and the possibility of what come in the future, despite what may feel like a never ending void that we may be going through at this point in time. So I feel like even this symbolism is kind of explaining the nature of these simultaneously unfolding aspects today. And of course, the context of all of the rest of this business that we talk about every single day on this channel. Anyways, moving on, you guys, let's talk about the position of the sun. Let's talk about this very tight, very pending square that is going on between the sun and Uranus in the North Node in the sign of Taurus. Now, Uranus, shocks, surprises, things happening out of the blue, the great rectifier, the great fixer, silver linings, blessings in disguise, throws everything up in the air so that anything that is not meant to be can be shaken out, and things can land in a proper pattern in order for continued evolution along the authentic, original, organic, proper evolutionary course and track. We are in a period of galactic rectification of things right now, and as a result of that, a lot is being shooken up. Now, to elevate this to even another level, Uranus currently is an exact conjunction to the North Node of the Moon. In modern astrology, evolutionary astrology, the North Node of the Moon, this is all about the next phase of growth, the next lesson plan, where we're going, where we're growing, what we need to learn and become next, what is the next phase of evolution in terms of our soul's growth. And therefore the South Node, always in a polar opposition to the North Node, is what we are releasing, what we are letting go of, what we are moving on from, what we have become very comfortable with, very good at, sort of come to the end of the lesson plan, and we have to let it go. We have to move on so that we can go in this new direction and experience this next phase of soul growth, essentially. In, Eastern, Vedic, and more ancient astrology, the North Node is associated, it's known as the head of the dragon, and it has a lot to do with really magnifying and multiplying energy, and it can bring up a more compulsive nature and just an urge and a yearning for things. And so, when we consider this, there is just this galactic compulsion for this radical shift. Uranus is also the great liberator. Uranus frees us and breaks us out of any situation that we can't break ourselves out of that is prohibiting that path of authentic growth, okay? There is a universal compulsion that is being multiplied right now towards radical freedom, radical authenticity, and radical truth. And with the sun in Leo ruling the heart, what's truly in our heart, and it's a sign of the sun. What do we need to really grow and thrive into the best and the greatest versions of ourselves? Coming into the square with Uranus in the sign of Taurus with the North Node there as well, this is a period of time that is really causing perhaps an urge or desire for radical freedom, radical truth, radical realignment, and we are really probably wanting to break up some stagnancy. Any status quo that is not serving us this week is probably going to go by the wayside. This is also bringing up major themes of relationships, romance, matters of the heart happening simultaneously in the sign of Leo, ruling matters of the heart, romance, like true love, and also Taurus, ruled by Venus, partnerships, relationships, financial agreements. Like there could be some like I said, relationships, romance, matters of the heart, shocking things going on along those lines this week. This could also have to do with money, resources, supplies, or also on the other hand of that, like celebrities or entertainment or like nobility classes and stuff too, because we're also talking about the sign of Leo. This energy could also be bringing some earthquakes and fires this week, but generally at the end of the day, people are just likely to be seeking freedom to truly thrive, create. This is also a very, very creative energy and enjoy their life. Leo is the sign, this is also like of the inner child and just wanting to like enjoy and play and celebrate life. It rules like playing games and like just shows and gambling and entertainment and like all types of things that just bring us joy and bring us pleasure and bring us fun and just make us feel alive. And it's just very celebratory, heart enlightening, like heart illuminating type of energy. And this is likely to be what we are seeking after this week. And considering that Uranus and the North Node are both in the sign of Taurus, this could play out a couple different ways. It's like on one hand, because Taurus rules like projects and our work and work relationships and partnerships and financial agreements and arrangements and all that type of stuff, partnership dynamics, also resources, supplies, money, financial situations, material comforts, material possessions, all that type of stuff. With this specific energy as it's playing out, we really could be like foregoing perhaps maybe some of our financial arrangements or obligations or work responsibilities or projects and stuff this week in order to like go break free and have some fun. Or on the other hand of things, we could be getting like very, very, very creatively inspired, and it could really be changing what is going on in the context of our work relationships or of the projects or of our resources. Or this is a very, very creative and inspiring energy. But on the other hand, it's also like could be definitely creating some conflict or some friction or making some waves or just like sort of like up leveling things, unsettling stuff in terms of those Taurus themes, like money stuff, projects, like work, like stuff like that. So I wrote financial responsibilities and projects may disrupt our ability to really like enjoy life the way that we want to this week, or again our like sort of urge to break free and enjoy life the way that we want to this week may be disrupting like our financial project, work, supplies, stuff going on. I don't know. Those type of themes could definitely be being disrupted. However, it is helping us to go through some type of rebirth, to rebirth something new. Let's bring in some Sabian symbols for just a minute. It's interesting today. We have the sun coming to 18 degrees of Leo. That Sabian symbol is a chemist conducts an experiment for his students. We also have the Earth today, always in a polar opposition to the sun, at 18 degrees of Aquarius. That Sabian symbol is a man's secret motives are being publicly unmasked. And then we have Uranus in the North Node currently at 19 degrees of Taurus. That Sabian symbol is a new continent is rising out of the ocean. So energy today, symbolically, by aspect, I feel like it's talking about some type of galactic experimentation that is ongoing right now. The galactic fixer up there, Uranus, also rules science experiments and chemistry and all of that type of stuff. So I feel like this Sabian symbol of the sun today is also very much directly referencing Uranus's role in all of this is going on. A galactic experiment that is going on right now, and it's exposing people and their motives. It's putting things right. Anything out of alignment with integrity, you guys. Anybody who has been wearing a mask or being deceptive or being manipulative or, you know, operating with some type of underhanded agenda that is not in the benefit of that process of organic, authentic truth and growth that Uranus is calling for at this point in time is likely to experience some type of exposure in the energy today or this week. Like, it is very clear in the Sabians. And then when we're talking about the position also of the North Node in Uranus, the new continent rising out of the ocean, this is for the purpose of like birthing something new, of creating like an entirely new world, of recreating ourselves and our experience, and even like the ground, our internal framework, like the forms and the structures that we're standing on, even with Saturn retrograde right now as well. So, and it's happening again also in the sign of Leo, which is the sign of like birth and creativity and the sun and children. And it's like our sense of like personal creative self-expression as well. It's like, yeah, I don't know, you guys. So there is some energy going on this week that is likely to be really shaking things up. Today we are probably very much so in it. Like, it's probably like keeping plans is not the way this week. Going with the flow, allowing yourself to, sort of like be open to be a little more spontaneous and adaptable, and just sort of, going what it is, and being also with the North Node there, like, this is destined stuff happening. This is the hand of God at work. This is divinely aligned in times like relationships, like opportunities, like we're in the time right now where things are lining up. There are divine alignments underway. And I think that we can pretty much rest very well assured in that. Another thing I want to say today, you guys, speaking of the Sabian symbols, we have Neptune retrograding back to 25 degrees of Pisces. If you guys have been following my channel for a while, you might remember what this degree is, because Neptune was there for a very long period of time. Neptune rules illusion, Neptune rules delusion, Neptune rules projection, Neptune rules media narratives and media spins and hypnosis and fantasy, and I think I said illusion, but I'll say it again. Neptune is currently retrograded back now to 25 degrees of Pisces. That Sabian symbol, you guys, is the purging of the priesthood. And the purging of the priesthood, this specific degree, I feel like is very, very characteristic and like poignant and significant and critical in terms of sort of acting as a descriptive of what is happening on the higher levels energetically right now in our transition into the age of Aquarius, with Pluto in the end of Capricorn, breaking down the long-standing power structures and establishments and long-time controlling bodies of the past. And with Neptune at this degree, I feel like this is breaking down any illusion, any false narratives that may have been perpetuating their ability to sort of like project the previous matrix, the previous paradigm out into the future, and sort of try to maintain that hierarchy through which, was dominating through this past era into the future. I feel like this is sort of bringing us to a point where humanity collectively is going to start waking up to any type of illusions or hypnosis or projection or false narratives that may have been going on, in our individual lives and on the world stage as well, that maybe had been keeping us attached or keeping us anchored to our past versions of ourselves or to our past belief systems based on, again, like some type of just narrative that we were under the impression of, but we are beginning to see the cracks in, we are beginning to see through the facade, and we are rediscovering a new truth that is more in alignment with the authentic version of reality that we are getting an understanding of at this point in time. So interesting to me as well that Neptune is coming back to this degree right now in the context of all of this Uranian energy that we have going on as well. Of course, Neptune is in the sign of Pisces as well, ruler of Pisces. This is the Pisces energy from which we are exiting, right? And Neptune is also retrograde right now. So it makes sense that Neptune's retrograde motion coming back to this degree in the sign of Pisces would sort of be helping us to release the illusions about the way that things have been, that we may have been operating under, that may have kept us attached to those, very things, because, perception equals reality. And if we've been operating under one type of perception, thinking one thing, then our reality is very much so aligned with that. But as we have this great awakening planet coming through and all of this breakthrough energy that Uranus is bringing, it's really shifting things, and therefore our perception is shifting, and therefore our reality is shifting as well. The last thing that I want to say today, and this is just sort of interesting, I just wanted to bring it up. Venus and Mars, 28 degrees of Cancer and 24 degrees of Taurus. Like I said, Mars has moved out of exact conjunction or exact square, to Saturn. So that's a good thing. But anyways, Venus today at 28 degrees of Cancer, an Indian girl introduces her college boyfriend to the assembled tribe. And Mars today at 24 degrees of Taurus, Venus's sign, an Indian warrior riding fiercely, human scalps hanging from his belt. This is actually one of the most like gruesome and violent degrees in the whole, all of the Sabian symbols. But anyways, I found it to be interesting because we're talking about Venus and Mars. Venus and Mars are in a loose sextile to each other right now. Yesterday, actually, Venus and Mars were in a sextile to each other, which is a positive assisting and a facilitating aspect, while they were simultaneously both an exact aspect to Saturn and Pluto, both of these more malefic planets about like power and control. And today we have Venus and Mars still in a loose sextile. Venus or Mars and Venus's sign also, like I said, talking specifically about like Indians, like Native American Indians, an Indian girl, the sign of Venus, and an Indian warrior, the sign of Mars. So even in their like feminine, masculine description symbolically, they're still lining up. And just them being at these two specific degrees today, I feel like this is talking about something to do with the masculine and the feminine within us that is calling us back to our roots. You know, we've been talking about all this Uranian energy. We've been talking about authenticity. We've been talking about the need to get back to like the baseline of ourselves and rediscover our original truth and our original value and the gifts and the talents and potential that we hold inside of us and what we can do with those and how we can activate our destiny and rise into our higher potential and become who we were truly meant to become so that we can live the life that brings us this amazing and pure sense of true fulfillment because it's a reflection of what our soul really desires and came here to experience. And with Venus and Mars, like I said, at these degrees today, I feel like this is also referencing a need internally in terms of the divine feminine, divine masculine aspects of ourselves to get back to our roots and desire to be accepted and to stand in our truth as well, coming through today with them at these degrees. So that is what I have to say for the astrology today, you guys. Definitely an interesting day. Today is sort of like a little bit of a break day. Tomorrow's another real big one. We're going to have, again, the exact square going on between the sun and Uranus and the north node of the moon, Leo and Taurus, and then we're going to have the full moon the day after that. So we've got all that coming at us. Let us grab our cards. Let's talk about the tarot for a minute, you guys. Tarot time. We definitely had some cards that were coming out today in the context of the astrology that is playing out too. And it's interesting. We actually got quite a brief message today, but I feel like it's pretty meaningful. The first card that we had coming out of the deck, like face up, staring at us, wanting to be seen. Like this is really the main message of our tarot reading today, and it's the sun. And this is again talking about, look at this card. It embodies all of the Leo qualities and characteristics. Like it's all about this personal creative self-expression, like our naked truth, like this youthful, like childlike inner child nature, and what makes us grow and what makes us thrive, how to turn like the light on in our soul and like, really just free ourselves to be ourselves. That's really sort of the vibe that I feel like we're dealing in all week. But then the card that came out next was the Emperor in reverse. And then on the back of the deck, we had the Queen of Cups in reverse, followed by the Three of Wands, and followed by the World, and then actually also the High Priestess in reverse. And when I'm looking at all of these cards, what this is really, I feel like this is coming down to is like, yeah, like we might feel a bit out of our power at this point in time. We might feel like sort of like out of our strength a little bit, or like our foundation is shook because again of this Black Moon energy that may be coming through today, and the Black Moon in Cancer as well, this Queen of Cups in reverse, like maybe some fears, worries, insecurities, doubts about the state of our stability, the state of our security, the state of our emotions and our love and our ability to nurture and care for and give love and support, to receive love and support. Like there may, some mother issues might be coming up. Like there may just be we might feel just like I said in the beginning, I think I wrote down feeling a bit shook today, like our foundation is a bit unsturdy. We may feel a bit out of our power based on like a lack of emotional balance that is going on within us today. But the message is we need to like align with the light. We need to not allow this to take us down into those depths. This is the Emperor. The Emperor is also associated with the sign of Aries. Right now, we also have Jupiter in Aries. So again, like Jupiter forming a square to the moon today, this should be doing some things to sort of help us maintain this light despite any of the more emotional irregulation or imbalance or lack of security that we may be feeling or perceiving today. I mean, we had the Three of Wands, and this is about like considering things like, should I stay or should I go? What is my next move? What is my next choice? What am I going to do with what I have and what I found? Like, what is my inspiration? Just sort of really considering, really thinking, like thinking about what's going on. And then the next card though is the World. This is finishing a cycle, ending a cycle of what? The High Priestess in reverse, ending a cycle of lack of trust within ourselves, of not trusting our intuition, of not having faith in the greater plan that's unfolding before us, of, you know, fearing the unknown, fearing the mystery, fearing the darkness. Like, that's sort of what we're coming to in all of this, is kind of like, you know, what I feel like this is saying. And as a result of that, again, we're coming back to this like return of the light. So ultimately, I feel like that's what this reading is saying for us today is, yeah, like we may feel a little out of balance today. We may not feel our best self. We may feel like we're like sort of doubting ourselves a little bit based on these like emotional fears that may be coming to us at this point in time. But really, we are just in a period of time where we are sort of waiting, you know, this guy right here, the Three of Wands, sort of like waiting and pondering. There's a cycle that is coming to an end. There's a cycle that is coming to a close. And it's a cycle about being detached from our own intuition, being attached from our own better judgment, being in a state of fear or a lack of recognition of these subconscious things that have been going on within us that may have been really playing a more controlling life over our conscious experience than what we really understood. And we are coming back into our power. That's the thing. Like, at the end of this process, you know, we're in this black moon energy right now, but this black moon energy is going to end. And like I said, we have this full moon coming up in the sign of Leo and Aquarius. We are in Leo season right now, you guys. It's all about the light. It's all about courage. It's all about strength. It's all about getting in touch with our inner child, getting back to our roots, creative personal self-expression, standing in that, and not allowing whatever fears might be coming up right now to control us. We're actually in a cycle of ending those fears. So that is sort of what we need to rest our faith in and like be assured on, that, you know, the fears that are coming up right now or whatever we're navigating, like this is coming to a close based on a renewed connection to ourselves that is trying to make its way to us as well. So that's what I have to say for the tarot today, you guys. Let's grab one more card. Let's grab a Synchronicity card. See our last bit of advice or guidance that God has for us today to help us navigate this energy as it's unfolding. These are really wonderful cards. They are by Janice Shellman, and they are just little bits of words, advice, guidance that God, here's one that wants to flip over. Wow. That God, universe, and great spirit just wants us to know. And it says, God will make it right. And that's what I'm talking about. The sun, right? That's literally just what our tarot cards said. Like, we may feel like things are out of balance right now. We may feel like things are sort of upside down and we don't know what to do next. And we're just sort of waiting on things to happen, waiting for a cycle to happen. And we're sort of, you know, dealing with, you know, whether we can trust ourselves or trust the process or not. But the sun is right there. The light is right there. Uranus is in charge right now. Universe is in charge right now. And our tarot message for today is God will make it right. Judge not according to appearances, but judge righteous judgment. John 7:24. Be sure you know the truth. It is not always as it appears. Separate the false from the true. Come to a decision on your actions based upon what you know is true of God. With God, all things are possible. Count on God to make things right. That is the message that we have coming through from the Synchronicity cards today. And that is what universe wants us to know as we are navigating this energy, and we just need to try our best to stay aligned with the light. We do have Jupiter helping us out today in the context of this black moon energy. So you guys, that is what I have to say today. That is the message from the stars. That is the message from the cards. I hope you guys liked it. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can give you just a little bit of whatever you're needing to navigate today. If you guys did like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they would like this and be interested in this too. Leave me comments, you guys. Absolutely love your comments, your feedback. I am so grateful for all of you being here. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social medias. Those are in my description box below. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We have exact Sun Square Uranus. Bang, bang, bang. Big day to talk about. I'll be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. And I will see you then, everybody. Have a great day. Until tomorrow. Bye.